because I wanted it to be just right. And we'd have a 2.5-minute lead-in with the music. And we said, we left our story yesterday. Agatha was attempting to, had poisoned Barry B. Barry's cigar, so he would die or whatever, and the leading man, which was her secret lover, would get the part. And today we hear Larry as he says, oh boy, a new cigar. All I need is a light. And Agatha would come in and say, here, my dear, a match. And it would end right there. And we said, tune in tomorrow when we hear Larry Lilly say, oh boy, now I've got my cigar and match. I'll light it up. But that's tomorrow on. And we'd go out. And the next day he would strike the match, and just before he lighted, something would happen. Barry would come in, or old Pop, the old faithful stage hand, would come in and say, oh, a cigar, I love cigars, and he would get the cigar. The wrong guy would get poisoned or whatever, and it was just a continuing thing, and we had a lot of funny comments on it. People would go to work and say, could you put that on 5 minutes early because I'm sitting in my car and I was late for work yesterday listening to that thing. And it was called Life Can Be Miserable. It's I guess most people put themselves in that boat.
That's incredible. The creativity and the work obviously was appreciated that went into those shows.
Well, I used to get there about 5 o'clock in the morning and go on at 6, and sometimes we'd get rushed with production. We had a lot of commercials in those days, and we'd get so rushed with production, and I'd say, well, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'll do it when I come in. I come in 5 o'clock in the morning and have to do 5 days of it, and a lot of it sometimes we couldn't even write up. But I tried to use a lot of sound effects and things, because radio, to me, was total imagination, and you wanted everything happening in your living room. The more telephones, the more door knockings, the more sounds that we could use would just bring it into real life. And if you played it straight and believable, they would believe it. I think I had the only radio show where there was always a door knock and a door open and telephones ringing. I used to get calls all the time. People would say, don't you have soundproof doors out there at Big Ways? Yes, we do. I don't hear telephones ringing during the day. They have lights. So that's right. Well, how come on your show we hear all this door knocking and doors opening and telephone ringings? And I said, well, they don't really open up the station till 9, when I get off or whatever. And this is the way we used to do it. But it was just real life. Again, it was just poking fun at people, at their sense of believability. And you'd be surprised that they wanted to believe that there really was a Barry B. Barry, that there really was a Low Pressure. I think they knew that I did all those voices, did all those characters, but they really didn't want to do it. They didn't want to believe that. They wanted to keep in their own mind that there really were these people because they associated with them.
Send a postcard and tell Big Ways where Abergavenny is. The first 3 correct answers win. 1 winner per family. Send your answer to Abergavenny, Big Ways, Charlotte.
Arf.
Hey, Abergavenny in Babylonia? Never mind, we're not interested in that right now. It's 26 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. Big Ways prospecting time. We're going to go prospecting for Big Ways cash in just minutes, but first, let's hear how Low C sounds. That's Bill Beck humming Low C. Low C in music is a low note. Well, I guess we really were kidding around, but Bill Beck really does give you those low prices and does knock off the low C notes. Actually, he doesn't really sing low C like that. He actually did a lot of rehearsing for that. If you'd like to hear Bill's real voice, I have it on tape here. Doctor, here, turn on the tape of Bill Beck, will you? Okay, next voice you hear will be that of Bill Beck. Bill?
Hello there.
Here to play summertime hits like this.
Won by Sandy Alpert at 27 after 6 in the morning.
I'm standing there.
Ballad for lovers everywhere from Sandy Alpert, My Darling Mary. The award-winning Jack Gale radio program. One man's struggle to become a failure. Don't forget the Big Ways All Request line now open at 392-0331. It was open on the Pete Ray Show a little while ago, but now it is officially open, Fred.
The one and only 61 Charlotte WAYS, where the weather is.
We're going to have another beauty. The weatherman grooving all day. Big Waves weather in Charlotte now, clear in 75. And our Big Waves prediction for hot, humid weather, high about 94 in the Queen City today. At 6:30, skipping across Big Waves country, Big Waves temperature in Sharon is 76, in Lowell 74, in Conover 72, in Plumerville 50. Repeating the current Big Waves weather in Charlotte, clear and 75. On Thursday, June 26th, my birthday.
Happy birthday,
Mr. Gale. Well, thank you, Lady Hortense. Surely, dearie, Big Ways is in season in Charlotte.
Yay, Rebels! North Mecklenburg High will never say die. They really play the game. They go and play. The blue and white will do all right. With 61 Charlotte, W-A-Y-S. Yay, Rebels!
Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, on a blanket with my baby, is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be making love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. From the park you hear the happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and french fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, it's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be making love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Blanket with my baby, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
WAYS, Charlotte. 2 more big hours of memories. Coming up right after the news, we'll talk to another legendary morning man of Charlotte, Jay Thomas, next on Big Waves.
Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. I'm Tony White reporting 2 degrees under sunny skies. I'm Tony White for Big Waves, number 1 for news in the Carolinas.
Thanks, Tony. 5 after 4 now with Lou Simon, making memories of Big Waves in its heyday. And we're talking now with Jay Thomas, live from down in Jacksonville, Florida. That's actually the place, I believe, Jay, where you started with this company at our sister station that we did own at one time down there. Exactly when and where did you start with the Kaplan?
Jacksonville in 1970, and was it the Big Ape in Jacksonville, which we since sold it. And I'm down here doing a play now in Jacksonville. I went to college here at JU. Stan Kaplan gave me money out of his pocket every few months, and I borrowed that from him, and I graduated from Jacksonville University, and I was a disc jockey at night, and then became the morning man here, and then program director. And finally in 72, the summer of 72, like July, I moved to Charlotte and took over as PD and morning man at Ways. And we were wild. I think Ways was having a lull at that time. And we came in and we hired a guy from Philadelphia to do the afternoon show, Tom Dooley. And I had a big billboard up there in Independence Boulevard by Charlottetown Mall. And I remember we had the records and everything up there, like the old remotes used to be done where you played the records. And it was so hot that as we're playing the records, they melted on the turntable. And we'd be playing the records and you hear whoop, whoop, whoop. So we started telling jokes. I think one morning, we did it for like a couple of days or something, the mornings and the afternoons up there in this billboard. And one morning with all the, we figured that corner, more people than any other corner in the state or something, people passed. I think I took my pants off or something and stood there in my underwear. We did everything, but that was the beginning of all the crazy promotions and some of the nutty things that I did. And the reason why I did them is the Kaplans wanted that kind of stuff, and Stan especially, and also I liked doing it, and it developed into obviously quite a career for me.
When you left here and you went on to New York, and of course many people looked on their TV screen a few seasons ago on the popular show Mork and Mindy and said, my goodness, is that the same Jay Thomas? And of course it surely was. So you really have moved on.
Well, it was, it's really something I really developed most of the stuff that I do those 4 years that I was in Charlotte. And I'm not just saying that, it's the absolute truth. And anybody that knows me knows it's true. I just developed into a real radio entertainer, and to this day I still go and do radio shows around the country, and ABC has me under contract, and it's just one of those things that I developed and became very good at. And the toughest thing about all this was leaving there to go to New York. I didn't leave to be a disc jockey. I really wanted to be an actor. And it was hard for everyone to understand because I really didn't act, and I was a sports announcer. We did a sports thing. Kilgo and I were with UNCC at the time, and we went to the NIT. Everything that happened down there was really exciting. I was playing club football for Central Piedmont Community College and separated my shoulders and would bang my knees up and come to work. It was a fun time in radio and a wild time. And then I decided I really wanted to do something else, and I made a very drastic move, and no one could really understand it, but everyone was pretty supportive of it. I went to New York, and luckily everything turned out okay for me. Better than okay. It turned out great. And the Kaplans and I are still friends and still supportive. And be careful, because I'm still a stockholder in that station.
You are, huh?
Yeah, so don't upset me.
In that era, before I ask you for a favorite song from that period, which is a hard enough question, you told us about the records melting at the remote and all, but just another great contest. Were you here for the last contest, as it was called?
We actually brought the last contest in. A guy named Jack McCoy out in San Diego who had worked for us had just moved, and he invented this contest, the last contest. I can remember driving to work in the afternoon. I was the PD, so I would go in and oversee the contest when we knew we were going to have a winner that day. And we would announce all day that, the time was coming, and boy, it was like the old movies of the World Series. As I lived at the Lake Apartments then. I remember driving to work, and I could hear the radios coming out of the windows of the apartments, Like, and here comes Casey the Bat. And when I got to work, it was just the most exciting thing. There were all sorts of bribes people were offering you to tell me when you're going to call and what's going to happen. And, of course, it made, incredible amounts of waves in the market. One of our competitors started having something called the Final Last contest, and they had some little piddling type contest like ours. But it was exciting, and the ratings always proved us good. And, man, I don't know, they spent thousands and thousands of dollars. And it was an exciting time to be in radio. Maybe there's never been as exciting a time in radio that I can remember, and I've worked all over the country, and I really can't remember anything more exciting than that.
It may be difficult to pick just one, but a particular song, Jay, that stands out in your mind is from the era that you were here at Waze, one that you played and that still stands out as a great record.
Gee whiz, isn't this strange? I guess I'm at a loss, but I really am a beach music freak. And I really liked all that stuff. And I still like I'm a Girl Watcher by the Occasions, even though it wasn't a hit when I was there. That was one of the big records. And I really wasn't a beach music fan until I got down to the Carolinas. So I should probably pick, a record from that time. I know a record that we broke and that we got a gold record on when I was there was somebody has the blues. Good Time Charlie.
Good Time Charlie, yeah.
That was probably a record that no one thought was going to be a hit. This fellow Tom Dooley begged us to play it, and Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues was probably one of the big records that that we broke while I was at Waze.
In the autumn of 72, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and play Girl Watcher, man. You like that one? That's a good record.
Watch is a good one, too, but that's only because when I lived down there, everybody did all that. I don't know if you know this or not, but I ran for mayor of Charlotte, which is what I'm really known for.
Go ahead about the mayor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I ran for mayor of Charlotte. The contest, it was like a ratings getter and all that, but there was a congressional election going on, not a mayoral election. And all these billboards are going up, vote for people for Congress and all this. Well, there's a thing in billboards called 100% showing, means you buy as many billboards as you can buy, and so almost the entire city is covered with your message. The Kaplans did that, and the ad agency put together a campaign with me coming out of a dollar bill, the best candidate money can buy. And there was a little-known thing in the newspaper at the time about this break-in at the Watergate Hotel. This happened about the same time. And it wasn't a big deal at the time. And so we started making fun of it at the time because I don't think we were certainly Democratic liberals around that place. You had to be, you got fired. But that isn't exactly true, but it helped. So we weren't really Nixon lovers there. And we started saying, gee, we're going to run for mayor just like the real candidates do. We're going to pay you for your votes. We're going to tape record your voice. And that became such a national thing. I mean, people to this day will come up to me, even in New York, and they'll say, I don't really remember much about you. I just know you ran for mayor of Charlotte. They don't even know it was connected to a radio station sometimes. The billboards had me coming out of this dollar bill, the best candidate money can buy. We ran stuff. I used to give speeches. I would be invited where the congressmen were speaking. I would be invited to speak. The congressmen got really upset, but the people would always love this. I remember I wanted to make all the streets go downhill so we could save gas. I was going to turn there's something down in the middle of Charlotte. It's like a convention center or something that wasn't doing very well, sort of a white elephant, actually, after they built it. I was going to turn that into a 24-hour, all-night massage parlor. And John Belk was the mayor, and he even endorsed me. And we had him on the air, and people actually thought that I was running for mayor. There was no election at all. These billboards, there was no mayoral election. It was just congressional. And we had flatbed trucks, and I had these. Would give speeches in the middle of downtown at lunchtime, and that and the last contest are probably the two biggest promotions that I ever did in radio, and that I ever saw on radio. The big thing about it was these were not inexpensive promotions, and a lot of money was spent, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, there was never a time that we didn't just do it for fun. It wasn't ever done just for ratings or just to make money or anything. It was such a fun project, and I think that because it was fun and it sounded like fun, and they were always so professionally done, it's always meant more money to us. So. Those things, I think, coming in and being on that billboard and, gee whiz, the last contest and then running for mayor, those things are things that not only I'll always remember, but people in Charlotte, some people all over the country, and especially in radio, will never forget. And I was just glad to be a part of that. Gee, it started me. It got me where I am today. I'll never forget it.
Greenville, North Carolina. As a matter of fact, the very first disc jockey ever to play that song on the air was at a station called Big Wow in Greenville, right near East Carolina U. It was Larry Sprinkle as a young man back in 1968. As a Girl Watcher at 417 with Lou Simon, remembering the old disc jockeys this hour. Coming up next, Mike Green, then Long John Silver, Dick Blanchard, Melvin Foley, J.J. Jeffries, all coming up before 5. We're on the phone this hour on Big Ways.
Starting now, Sherwin-Williams Super Play Super Sale. Did you catch that?
Sure did. Sherwin-Williams' best interior and exterior paint at $6 off the regular price per gallon. And wall coverings.
Great patterns.
20 to 60% off the regular price per roll.
Level all blinds. 30% off the regular prices. Don't miss them.
And now to recap. Super deals. A super store.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
It's where the action is now through September 25th.
Just super.
How many times have you heard this expression?
Boy, I wish Charlotte had a different kind of night spot.
Well, you won't hear it anymore because that different kind of night spot is here. Casey's Drinking Emporium in the Quality Inn uptown on McDowell Street. Unlike anything Charlotte has ever experienced, Casey's Drinking Emporium, where you can feast upon a lavish table of hot and cold delectable edibles. It's the most delicious array of hors d'oeuvres you've ever seen, and they're free from 5 till 10 p.m. Plus, these scrumptious delights are replenished throughout the night. So not only do you get the best drinks in town, but free food. 5 hours, in fact, from 5 till 10 p.m. No other happy hour in town can boast of that. At 9 o'clock, the Tempest Crank-Up. Playing your favorite beats, top 40, and a lot more. It's all at Casey's Drinking Emporium in the Quality Inn uptown on McDowell Street.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Ways Good Guys in song.
We're glad we all work at Big Ways, especially when the boss pays. It's not too much, we're such a wonderful staff. He doesn't think it's very funny when you win a contest and we give the money. But we don't care as long as you're out there.
On the line of Big Ways is You're Moving with Mike Green. Mike, you used to work here in the afternoons. What years and exactly what time were you on? Do you remember?
Well, yes, I worked a couple of shifts, but started in 1965 when we first put Big Ways on the air as a rock and roll radio station until about 1968, and mostly worked in the afternoons. You know, I worked some midday, and then later on did the afternoon shift from about 3 to 7.
Now, you were here when as you said, when the Kaplan's bought the station, and we really just took this town by its ear and turned it upside down.
Yes, we had took the country by the storm, to be honest with you. We started with treasure hunts, $1,000 treasure hunts. And Stan Kaplan and a few other people went out and hid a little check for $1,000 in the ground somewhere, and we would give clues out. And we ended up with half the town of Charlotte digging people's lawns up looking for $1,000. It was quite an experience.
You know, legislation was passed because of that now when radio stations do things, they have to hide them fictitiously.
Yes.
You know, and give clues where you don't actually physically look for the...
We actually, at one point, I got a call. I was on the air on a Saturday afternoon. I got a call from the Charlotte Police Department asking me to please give another clue because there were 10,000 people on Central Avenue, and they wanted to move them off. And so I gave another clue, and they disappeared within 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
People.
I tell you, this was a dynasty of a radio station. Where can you remember some of the other things aside from contests that the station was involved with? We were in lots of parades, for instance. You ever get to ride in any of those?
First parade, which I don't know, Jack, you're going to end up talking to Jack Gale and some of the others. The first major parade we did was the Thanksgiving parade in Charlotte. And the powers that be in the town didn't necessarily want us to participate. And they told us that in order to participate, we had to get a white Oldsmobile convertible. And when we went to get one, we found that everyone in North and South Carolina and parts of Georgia was already taken for this parade. So we went out and bought a 1953 Oldsmobile, took an acetylene torch to it, took the top off of it, and painted it white inside and out, and showed up for the parade. And stopped right in the middle of the parade, right at Trade and Tryon, and created this enormous jam and gave away, threw the trunk open and started giving away free T-shirts.
I've heard the story, and there it was the prime position where the camera, the Channel 3 cameras were aimed, so actually you monopolized the TV screen for a while.
We messed up the whole thing. We went through such, the police were out there trying to get us off. We had the pictures afterwards of a policeman very sternly standing there pointing as if to get us off, and then sticking out of his back pocket was one of our T-shirts.
That's great. That's the epitome of it.
Yeah.
You were here for an exciting era of music. Let me ask you to pick a favorite song, maybe a favorite Beatles song, considering that they were the most important group in the world during your tenure here.
Well, I don't know that I'd pick a favorite Beatles song.
All right, well, go ahead with a favorite record of any type.
I like the Four Tops. And anything by the Four Tops, or, matter of fact, the most requested record that I can remember when I was in Charlotte was My Girl by the Temptations.
My Girl by the Temps. Perfect one. Good beach record, too.
Right, and that was, I would say, without a doubt, the number one requested record in Charlotte in the mid-'60s.
Terrific. We'll put it on right here. Mike Green, thank you for talking to us, remembering on Big Ways.
You got it. Thank you.
On a cloudy day, when it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl. I've got so much honey, the bees into me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the tree. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl. I don't need no money or champagne. I got all the riches, baby, one man can claim. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. My girl, I've even got the month of May with my girl. Talking about my girl.
Big Ways. Temps. My girl.
My girl.
Big record. Big Ways. 6 o'clock. It'll be the John Kilgo Inside Sports Show. 8:30 is pregame activity for the Clemson-Georgia game. And then Ira Fistel, Ray Bream, and others take you overnight. Murphy will be back from vacation tomorrow morning at 6. Of course, you'll still get great music every morning with Murphy between 6 and 10. But this is the end of Big Ways as a music station, something it's been since, well, back in the 40s and 50s. Primarily, its success came in the spring of '65 when Sis and Stan Kaplan bought it for a little over $500,000 and turned it into one of the most watched, one of the most important stations in the industry, one of the most listened to stations in the Southeast. Coming up, we're going to speak to midday man Melvin Foley, Melvin the Grocery Boy, plus Long John Silver, Dickie Dew Blanchard, J.J. Jeffries, and more. All here at 61 Big Ways. Hang on.
Carolina's got the big ways craze. Let's go.
The original Melvin Foley, Grocery Box Melvin. We've tracked him down. Melvin, when did you work here at Big Ways, and what was your shift?
Let's see, I did 9 to noon, Lou, from 1965 until 1968. Back when the Kaplans first took over Ways and took it from New Ways to Big Ways.
That's right. Now, Charlotte was a little bit different then. It wasn't as grown up, and it wasn't as built up. What were some of the big haunts where the kids used to hang out back in the mid-'60s?
I remember the big haunt, Shoney's, at that time, especially the one on Moorhead Street, I remember had car hops, which they had for quite a few years, and a lot of people hung out at Shoney's, and also at that South 21 drive-in restaurant. That I remember. Drive-in restaurants were really big in Charlotte then, Luke.
Uh-huh. And how about some of the main drags where you can maybe see some kids racing their 64 Pontiac Le Manses and that sort of thing?
There was a lot of that went off in the vicinity of, say, Freedom Drive and Moorhead Street, right about in that part of town. Then, of course, Wilkinson Boulevard, which leads you past from Charlotte into Gastonia. I guess Wilkinson Boulevard would have been the big thing then.
And, of course, the big thing to do is to drive around with your friends listening to Big Ways.
Absolutely, and go to the Shuffletown Drag Strip on as a matter of fact, near the beautiful Big Way Studios on Highway 16.
That's right. We're not far from Shuffletown. We made sure of that when we built the building.
No, I'd forgotten about that. Shuffletown Drag Strip was certainly a very big, type thing then. Everybody went to the drag races. I believe it was like Saturday night and Sunday afternoon.
I think this was the most exciting radio station in Charlotte. I don't think I have to worry about saying that.
No, the treasure hunts just turned Charlotte on its ear. I don't think there'd ever been a promotion done in the market like that. Certainly not on that scale, and it certainly did create a lot of activity.
Tell me something. You were here for some very big years. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, let's see, all the Memphis Soul was so big. What was your favorite, or the one you remember getting a lot of requests for, a great memory song for you from that period?
Well, I would say, Lou, when you go back to the era of Ways, the Motown records, I know you and your listeners are all familiar with them. They were all very big. As a matter of fact, one week I remember on the Big Ways Top 40, which is what we called it then, there were 13 or 14 Motown records. Right. So I would guess one of my favorite songs would have to be Love Is Here and Now You're Gone by the Supremes.
A big one for them. Thank you very much, Melvin. We'll play that record now, and thanks for talking to us on Big Ways.
Carolinas.
60 wonderful WAYS.
First on your radio dial. Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You persuade me to love you, and I did, but instead of tenderness, I found heartache instead. Into your arms I fell, so unaware of loneliness that was waiting there.
You closed the door to your heart, and you turned the key, locked your love away from me.
Love is here, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You made me love you, and oh my darling, now you're gone. You said loving you would make life beautiful with each passing day. But as soon as love came into my heart, you turned and you just walked away.
You stripped me of my dreams. You gave me faith, then took my hope. Look at me now.
Look at me, see what loving you have done to me. Look at my face, see how crying has left its trace.
fades in the air. Love is here, and hold my darling, now you're gone. Love is
WAYN. That Melvin can hear a hit when he hears it, huh? Love is here, now you're gone. A good one from the beginning of 1967. Diana Ross, Super Supreme music. Motown, Michigan, 4:34 now, 26 till 5 o'clock. Lou Simon wrapping it up on Big Ways. We're going to stay till 6. I've still got ready to go on the line Dickie Dew Blanchard, J.J. Jeffries, Long John Silver, and more from Jack Gale in just a moment. Oh, boy. And the phones are ringing, and people are calling and saying, Mr. Lou, it feels good. I'm getting goosebumps. Making memories. Thanks. That's what it's about. Because actually, we're not bemoaning. We're not mourning. We're just looking back lovingly, saying, wasn't it fun? Wasn't it great? Springtime music, 12-year-old British gold. This is Marmalade now.
The changing of sunlight to moonlight, reflections of my life. Oh, how they fill my eyes. The greetings of people in trouble, reflection of my life. Oh, how they fill my eyes. All my sorrow, sad tomorrow, take me back to my own home. All my crying, feel I'm dying, make me back to my I'm changing, arranging, I'm changing, I'm changing everything. Everything around me. The world is a bad place, a bad place, a terrible place to live. Oh, but I don't wanna die. All my sorrow, sad tomorrow, take me back to my own home.
Big Ways. 22 before 5 o'clock. News on the hour from Tony White. Told you this hour we were going to be talking to a lot of the old disc jockeys. Throughout the show, we've been having brief conversations with Jack Gale, the legendary morning man who put the station on the map in 1965. Asking Jack now some of the really funny incidents that took place that made working here so much fun and so special.
I think one of the funniest experiences that ever happened with me was I called the greatest ad-lib in radio. There were two, and they both happened at ways. One involved Long John. We were doing one of the BWBs, Big Ways birthday balls. I don't know if they were discussed or not earlier in the day.
Yeah, every year in the springtime we have a big, we sure did, we talked about those, big party with all the groups.
Payment for 99 cents. But we had a mystery guest every year, and when the program came out, we had pictures of the different artists that were going to be on the show, Four Seasons, Stevie Wonder, the Monkees, whatever. And we had mystery guest every year, and it was just usually a blank on the program with a question mark, and the mystery guest usually turned out to be a big star, whether it was Tommy Rowe or Bobby Goldsberry or Bobby, whoever it was in those days. That was the mystery guest, but nobody knew it except the jocks, and but the people didn't know. And we had a great time with Long John. They always say you never poke fun at a guy unless you really love him, and we all loved Long John. I use a famous quote. I always say that what made Long John such a great disc jockey is the fact that he never grew up, and I hope as long as he worked for me, he never would. We never told him who the mystery guest was. And I gave him 5 pages of typewritten stuff, and I said, this is the mystery guest, and I can't tell you who it is. You've got to get up there and introduce this mystery guest. He got up there, and he started reading these 5 pages, and it just rambled on and on. He said, our mystery guest is famous, our mystery guest is this and that. And it was just a very boring 5 pages. And as he started to read about 30 seconds, Leslie Gore was really our mystery guest. And she looked adorable that night. She was in silver sequins. She had a little silver sequin shoes and a little silver sequin miniskirt. She looked beautiful. Long John had never met her before or didn't know her. And as he was reading this boring mystery guest intro, I walked up on the stage. We had about 8 microphones. I was on the other side, and I walked up with this little girl. Long John's looking at me, and he wondered, what's this guy doing on the stage? He kept reading right on. The show must go on. And I said, I got under the mic, and I said, Long John, can you hold it for just a second? And he kept right on reading. Figured I was just trying to break him up. Finally, we walked over to him, and I said, Long John, this is our mystery guest. And Leslie Gore picked up on the cue, and she walked over, put her arms around Long John, and smeared lipstick and kissed him from ear to ear. She said, you're the famous Long John Silver, and she kissed him from ear to ear. There was lipstick all over his face. And I said to Long John, I said, now, Long John, do you know who our mystery guest is? And he looked at me, and he looked at the audience, and he says, well, it sure ain't Wilson Pickett. And that trade ad line, never will forget that. I could say nothing after that. There was no way to top that one. It sure isn't Wilson Pickett. I'll live with that till I go to my grave, I think.
That's funny. Jack, as you said to me, we could talk for 3 or 4 hours and still not even cover the bases.
Right. There's no way. We did so many crazy things. Things that come to my mind. We did what we call a celebrity interview, where I took a name like Tom Jones. And I would make these calls. I'd say, tomorrow we're going to talk to Tom Jones between 7 and 8. Or this morning we're going to talk to Tom Jones between 7 and 8. And, excuse me, if anybody has any questions you want me to ask of Tom, call in. And they'd call up and say, ask him, is he married? Ask him this, ask him that. And I'd call up, and the interview would go something like, hello? And I'd say, yeah, is Tom Jones there? No, he isn't. This is brother. Can I help you? And I'd say, yeah, is he at the studio or what? Studio? What studio? I said, well, I don't know what label he records for, but this Jack here at Big Waves Radio in Charlotte? He goes, yes. I said, I just want to talk to him about his records. Records? What records? I said, all his big hits, Delilah and, Pussycat. And he said, I think you got the wrong Tom Jones. I said, no, Tomjones. It says it right here in the phone book. And the guy would say, yeah, I know, but I think you're talking about the singer. He's probably in New York somewhere. I said, oh, he is? At what hotel? Do you know? I can call him there. And we'd go on and on. He said, well, maybe he's in England. I said, you know the number there? It turned out that we would just take famous names out of the telephone book and call them. And just play it straight. Just go on and on. We called Arthur Godfrey. We called Johnny Carson. Anybody who was in the Charlotte phone book, we called. We called Dick Clark. We would call one of the Mills brothers. And one guy said to me, he says, I think you're looking for the singers. He says, I don't think you'll find them in Charlotte. You might luck up on it, but I doubt it. These kind of, we called Ed Sullivan. Those days, of course, Ed was still with us, and it was an old man. And I said, Ed? He said, yep, that's me. And I said, yeah, I see your show on television. I always watch television. I said, good. I said, and then he'd say, I got the croup. And we had Tommy Rowe. I called a guy named Tom Rowe. He was in the telephone book.
Wasn't there one incident, Jack, where you actually did fool everyone and really call the real fella?
That was the end, the very end, Lou. Yes, we did. That was the very end of it. It had gone on for about 25 days, and then the people started supposedly getting wise to it. And every time I'd say, well, we're going to call whoever, Barbara Streisand today, whatever, and they'd go, oh, yeah, you're going to call a Barbara Streisand that lives on Eastway. I know. And I could see that the meat was going out of the thing, and I got a hold of Bobby Vinton, and I told him what we were doing. And the call went something like, hello. I said, hello, is Bobby Vinton there? He said, yeah, this is Bobby Vinton. I said, oh, good, Bobby. I said, this is Jack Yale, Big Way, Charlotte. And he says, yeah, tell all my fans hello down there and thank them for listening and buying my records. I said, wait a minute. You the Bobby Vinton at Elm Street or so in Charlotte, North Carolina? He said, no, this is Bobby Vinton, the singer. I'm at the hotel in the Warwick Hotel in New York City. I said, oh, I've got the wrong Bobby Vinton. I'm awfully sorry. He said, no, you don't. You got to. I said, I'm sorry. Excuse the call. I'd hang up, go right into a record.
And they call and say, Jack, you dope.
They said, one woman calls up, says, Mr. Gale, you are so, I just can't say it. And she'd hang up. And one girl called up and said, so that was the wrong Bobby Vinton, was it? I said, yes, ma'am, it certainly was the wrong one. I'm awfully sorry I misled you folks. She said, well, can you just give me that telephone number if that was the wrong one? I said, I've already thrown it in the garbage. Give it away, I'm sorry. You just said, we just felt so great because the people just took to this stuff and they just loved it. They'd call in every day.
Yeah! Second Ward High School, blue and white are big, brave, they really fight. And those Tigers show their claws. You know they're ready to fight for their cause. 61 Charlotte, WARS. Yay, Second Ward Tigers!
Let's get on the telephone with Alan Archer. Alan, we got a little telephone problem here. Sorry about that. Hello there, Alan Archer. Are you there?
Is who there?
Alan Archer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we had a little telephone problem there. Did you go to Second Ward High School?
No.
Well, you're a Second Ward Tiger.
What Tiger?
A Second Ward Tiger.
No.
Okay. Alan, we're doing a lot of reminiscing today about Charlotte.
Yeah?
About way back in the good old days when you were just a little boy.
Ha!
Before there were satellites, but now that you got them, use them. What's the beginning of this work week going to look like weather-wise?
Weather-wise, we're in good shape. Boy, I tell you, it's been a beautiful holiday, hasn't it? 86 degrees right now, sunny skies. I really don't see any big problems shaping up weather-wise now through Wednesday. In fact, the computer goes with a 0% rain chance through Wednesday, so I guess that pretty well sums things up as high pressure continues to build across our area. Currently, it's anchored over Lake Superior and will provide us with fair skies. Overnight low temperature tonight, a cool, crisp 57. Boy, won't that feel good. Again, high temperature for tomorrow at a sunny 81 degrees, and on Wednesday a sunny 81 degrees as well. Right now, our winds are east-northeast, 10 miles an hour. Humidity is holding at 34%. 82 degrees now at our afternoon high. 82 degrees on Big Wave.
Wednesday night, June 11, Charlotte Coliseum. Big Waves presents its annual Big Waves Birthday Ball. It's BWB number 4. You'll see in person Gary Lewis and the Playboys. You'll see in person the Brooklyn Bridge. I heard you're getting married. You'll see in person Jay and the Americans. You'll see in person the Sir Douglas Quintet. You'll see in person John and Robin. Plus a fabulous mystery guest, along with the fabulous players, plus many, many more. Get your tickets now at Big Waves, 99 cents while they last, or send cash, check, or money order, along with a self-addressed stamped envelope to BWB tickets, Big Waves, Charlotte.
There'll be even more at BWB number 4.
60 wonderful WAYS. Go, go!
Now on Big Waves, we take our Whatever Happened to microphone to Atlanta, Georgia. And here's old Long John Silver, who made a return to Big Waves a few months ago and did a rockin' show on Friday night. Long John, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good, man. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. Tell us, first of all, when you worked here and what your shift was. What time were you on the air?
Went there the day when, in fact, we got there a few weeks before. Well, when Sisters, they bought the radio station, 65. I think it was March of 65. And we got there, and I think we actually went on the air on, I think it was around the first or second week of June, maybe around June 10th of 65. I was there until January of 71. Actually, the first people that got there was, well, of
course, Jack arrived there the same day I did, and Sister Span were there. And I came up with Melvin the grocery boy. I was in New Orleans, and he was in Orlando. So I had driven to Orlando, and we'd come up together. And we arrived in Charlotte about 5 o'clock in the morning, as usual. And we went on by the radio station later on, after he did a tour of downtown Charlotte, and I said, what the hell am I doing in Charlotte, North Carolina, you know? So I walked in the radio station. It was a real dive in. I mean, the cats running around everywhere and fleas and everything. It was a really disgusting place because it was run down with previous owners. And the first time I saw her sister, she had on a pair of shorts and sneakers and was sweeping out the radio station. And Stan was running around talking about how great a radio station we were going to build. And you know what? He was absolutely right. Built the greatest radio station in the history of rock and roll.
Ain't that so? This town was not. I don't think it was ready for big waves. You know, we really jarred everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just woke them up with all the promotions and the treasure hunts and all the excitement that we did that we had going on. What is your fondest memory aside from arriving in town? I mean,
well, one of the greatest things, I think, a highlight that I remember was we went into. We were invited to be in a Christmas parade in Salisbury. This was in. I think in December of, it was in latter November, early December of 65. And Stanley had a gold Lincoln convertible. And we were riding in a parade, and in the Salisbury Christmas parade. And at that time, believe it or not, it's hard for someone to comprehend that today. But, you know, even being a disc jockey at Big Wings at those early stages was like being a superstar almost. And we were riding in the parade, and the parade came to a standstill. There were thousands of people there. And the parade came to a standstill, and a bunch of people grabbed J.J. Jeffries and Jack Gale and myself and jerked us off with a convertible, you know, and it was like a mob scene. There had been for the police, we probably wouldn't have gotten out alive. And then all of a sudden it makes you think of the Beatles syndrome, you know?
Speaking of the Beatles, speaking of music, a song from the era you were here. Now, you were here a long time, man, from 65 to 71. A lot of things happened in the record business, the bubblegum era and the Motown years. Just pick one song that stands out as being a great old Big Ways record.
Well, probably the first record I ever played on Big Ways, and I do remember that. It was, because when we went on the air, I did the first air shift. Actually, I went on at 8 o'clock, worked 8 to midnight, and I did the first air shift on the evening before. I did 8 to midnight. And then I can't think, John Larsh was on the all-night show. Later on was Jack Armstrong up in Buffalo and Cleveland. And then, of course, Gail started officially as the next day, but I did the first air shift. The first record I ever played on Big Waves was the Supremes, Come See About Me.
60 wonderful WAYS makes this hit too. Go, 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 go!
I've been crying, 'cause I'm lonely. For you, smiles have all turned to tears, but tears won't wash away the fear that you never
5 consecutive number 1 songs in the Big Wave Survey. Come see about me. 4:54 is 6 before 5 o'clock. Lou Simon wrapping things up for Big Ways, lovingly looking back on the last 17 years of great music contests and more that Big Ways has brought to Charlotte. This hour we've been talking on the phone to people like Melvin Foley and Jay Thomas. I've got a few more we're going to do between now and 6. One hanging on right now. We go to the telephone.
61 Big Ways.
On the line with us now from JJ, where exactly are you?
I'm in a place called Dover, New Hampshire, Lou, which is about 50 miles north of Boston at WOKQ Radio. We play country tunes, Waylon and Willie and all the boys. And
all that outlaw stuff. You're going to go and bid on something at the Johnny Paycheck, the Johnny Paycheck Memorial Auction.
I hope so.
The old IRS auction. Well, JJ is up, as he said, up in New England now. And back in the late 60s, the mid-60s, really, he was here at Big Ways. What years were you here, JJ?
I was there from November 65 to about November 66. And I want to tell you, it was one of the grandest times I've ever had in my radio career. I never forget the first time that I walked in the door. That night we had to get in the Big Ways van and drive to Rock Hill, South Carolina to play football with the girls. And we got beat. We consistently got beat, but it was a good time. All the jocks got together, and it was just a super time we had together.
What are your recollections of some of the big promotions that the station did? We've already talked today about the treasure hunt, which you were here for.
No, I wasn't here for the treasure hunt.
Oh, they were done by November?
That was done. That was.
Oh, okay. But you were here for but you heard about the excitement of it. But I mean, you were here for the Thanksgiving parade.
Thanksgiving parade was. I remember most of the staff. I don't think I was there, but most of the staff stayed up all night to put flowers on the van, and it was a big kick because we saw it on television. We got good television coverage on that.
Yeah. Now a later parade that we were reminiscing with Mike Green about was a very funny one when we had to have a white Oldsmobile. That was for one of the, I think, beauty pageant parades.
Right.
And they cut off the top of one. But go ahead and reminisce about one yourself, one that stands out.
One that stands out, there were so many things we did. I'll never forget, we had to dress up in tuxedos, and I think it was a Miss Charlotte pageant, I believe. And I had the good fortune to be one of the masters of ceremonies with Melvin and Mike Green. And we, all the nice trappings, all the pretty little ladies walking around, and it was really good to be involved in that part of Charlotte, other than just sitting there playing all the tunes every day.
And speaking of the tunes, JJ, pick one that stands out during that great period of music in the mid-1960s when you were here.
Well, there's so many, Lou. I remember Flowers on the Wall, She's Just My Style, but I remember the one that really stands out is Simon and Garfunkel and Sounds of Silence.
Their very first one was big in January of 66, and you were playing it here. J.J. Jeffries was rocking on 61 Big Ways.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. That was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.
way sounded like, Tony, in April, okay, the spring of 1969. Any commercial pieces you hear are obviously not paid commercials for 1982, and they have no effect. Listen carefully now.
There goes a good guy mowing the lawn. Third lucky caller right now at 394-1301 gets a chance to identify the good guy and win cash. And a chance to win our grand prize, a riding mower, and a good guy to mow your lawn. Call now, 394-1301.
Blair writes the way you feel.
First, during these commercials, the phones were ringing.
Anglers, Blair.
Now,
Yes, sir. Okay, we have Gail Helms, 2609 Devon Drive from Dallas, North Carolina, ready to pick the mowing good guy. Who's it going to be, Gail? Is it going to be Jack Gale as Alexander, Ray Mack, Long John Pete Ray, or me, Dickie Doo?
Dickie Doo.
Dickie Doo, let's see if I'm mowing the grass. I'm Dickie Doo Blanchard mowing the lawn. I've been mowing since the break of dawn. If you think I'm happy, don't be absurd. I almost ran over my Dickie Doo bird. How about that? Gail, how do you feel about that?
Fine.
And great. Well, as you know, you'll be entered into our great big entry to win that riding lawnmower a little bit later on, okay?
Okay.
And you've also won $6.10. A little bit of spending money there, all right?
All right.
Thank you for winning with Dickie Doo. Have a good weekend. Bye.
on the line right now from down around Fort Lauderdale, Florida area is Dick Blanchard, known to many as Dickie Doo. Dick kind of held the roost here in the afternoons, I believe, for quite a few years. Dick, how many years were you at Big Ways?
The best I can recollect, Lou, I think I was there 4 to 5 years doing afternoon drive.
And that was from the late 60s right to the early 70s.
Right.
That was a good period in time. Now, we were a very, very active radio station, unlike a lot of other stations in town that kind of rested on their laurels or took things a little easy. We didn't represent the slow Southern life. We were a real action station. What are some of the big things we did, some of the contests, etc.?
Each year we celebrated our birthday with a Big Waves birthday ball, and we would either have it at the Coliseum or, if I remember correctly, at Memorial Stadium. We switched there because it was such a success, the Coliseum couldn't hold enough people. And one of the last performances we did there before I got out of broadcasting was at Memorial Stadium. If I remember correctly, we had between 35 and 40,000 people on hand. It was quite a celebration, and we were just all psyched up and happy and excited, and Sis and Stan Kaplan just kept the ball rolling, and it was just some of the happiest days of my life.
Isn't that great? It was, I tell you, and this was a wonderful city, I think, to be a part of. It still is, but it's really grown. If you could see it now, it's matured beautifully. But at the time, well, you were here in its infancy of real, of the modern days of Charlotte.
Right. I understand it's grown quite a bit. I haven't had time to come back up and say hi to everybody. But, you know, I'm sitting here reminiscing and getting a little nostalgic, and I look back at when I think we called ourselves the High Hoopers or whatever, but we had a basketball team. And I would say we were in better shape than a lot of the football players because we were going around to all the high schools and on a nightly basis during basketball season playing the faculty for their benefit or whatever they wanted to donate their monies for. We didn't charge anything, but we had a great time doing that, going to Gastonia, Kings Mountain, and all the local high schools in that area. And I even remember one time we played the girls' cheerleaders in football, and they beat the devil out of us, disc jockeys back then, but it really brings back a lot of memories.
I never even heard those stories. Let me ask you quickly, did Stan Kaplan used to play with the Happy Hoopers?
No, Stan didn't play. He just sat around with his ascot on, smoking cigars.
Pick a really, really great record during your tenure here. One of the big records that's kind of maybe representative of the era.
I recollect Aquarius by the Fifth Dimension was one of my favorites.
Springtime of '69, hair was everywhere, and Dickie Doo Blanchard was here on 61 Big Waves.
This is the dawning of the
minutes after 5. Lou Simon with Tony White standing by to check sports next. Then we're back with more from Jack Gale, some of the great old jingles that made Big Ways Radio stand out, etc. Here, WAYS.
She's got the big wave on her radio every day. She's got a lot to like. As we come through the mic, she puts us to the test. When she dials us for her request, she says she wants some songs for dancing and some songs she wants for romancing. Hey, you'll agree with she that it's big waves. Naturally, we says that we will plays the hits of the days. Always. This is out of time, but it all rhymes with big waves.
Here. You know, every week I get requests for the Bojangles Biscuit Break. I get all kinds. Hard luck stories, bribes, even outright threats. And you know what? What? They all work. So what's your excuse? If you think your office deserves to win, send your entry today. And who knows? We could all be eating Bojangles biscuits this week. Address it to the Murphy in the Morning Bojangles Biscuit Break, 400 Radio Road, Charlotte, 28216. Your office could be my next lucky winner.
Look what we've done with Ramada.
We've really changed.
We're filled with things that are new.
New rooms, new restaurants, and more.
Now we're classy, stylish, a special place. A delightful escape for you. Ramada, we've got a new world for you.
And still priced right. For confirmed reservations, call 800-228-2828. Ramada.
Ramada, we've got a new world for you. Feel good from your head to your solar plexus. Chalk up a win, no matter what your sex is. Look for the name with the double X's. Hair and skin care from Nexus. Let your hair show, let your skin glow. Naturally with Nexus. Bring your hair to life, bring your skin to life. Naturally with Nexus.
Did you survive summertime exposure to chlorine, wind, and heat? Let Renova Hair Design, Villa Square, and Hair Cutters, 5536 South Boulevard, come to your rescue with Nexus products. Aloe Rid removes damaging chlorine, while Therapay Shampoo and Humectress Moisture Potion restore body and sheen to sun-baked brittle hair. Visit a professional at Renova Hair Design or Hair Cutters and receive a free trial size Nexus product.
Bring your hair to life, bring your skin to life. Naturally with Nexus.
They're calling it the Clash of the Titans this evening as Clemson takes on Georgia, and that'll be at Georgia. Clemson Tigers keeping Georgia's Herschel Walker out of the end zone the last two times the teams have met. They may do it again by default tonight. As you know, Walker fractured his thumb in practice a couple of weeks ago. He says he's ready to play tonight, but the doctors are advising against it. There'll be a capacity crowd waiting tonight in Athens to find out whether Walker will get his chance to score on Clemson. We'll have all the action for you here on Big Ways, airtime tonight at 8:30. Cale Yarborough wins an unprecedented fifth Southern 500 NASCAR race today. That at Darlington International Raceway in South Carolina. In baseball this afternoon, 4 games in progress, 3 in the American League. After 3 innings, Baltimore leads the Yankees 2-0. After 6, the Red Sox lead the Indians 7-3. And after 3 innings, Milwaukee is ahead of Detroit by a 3-0 count. One afternoon game in the National League, Chicago leading the Phillies after 6 innings by a 4-1 count. Defending champ John McEnroe and Tracy Austin coasted into the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships today. McEnroe, whose game appears to be improving with every match, defeated Matt Doyle of Ireland 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. And Austin eliminated Virginia Ruzic of Romania 6-1 to 6-3. Australian Kim Warwick also continued his remarkable comeback from shoulder surgery, adding 9th-seeded Yannick Noah of France to his list of upset victims. Warwick winning in 4 sets, 5-7, 6-3, 7-5, and 6-4. Another surprise in the women's singles, Gretchen Rush, an amateur from Pittsburgh, upset 6th-seeded Wendy Turnbull of Australia, 6-3, 4-6, 6-2. Other winners today, 7th-seeded Pam Shriver, 5th-seeded Hanna Manlikova. Today's the day National Football League clubs are making their final cuts. Among the players released were place kicker Bob Thomas of the Chicago Bears, defensive back Lamar Parrish of the Buffalo Bills, and wide receiver Wally Henry of the Philadelphia Eagles. Denver traded defensive lineman Glenn Hyde to the Baltimore Colts for a future draft choice. And Wake Forest football coach Al Gross saying he expects a brutally physical game with Auburn this coming Saturday. He joked that after his Deacons heard the scouting report on the War Eagles, the center got a migraine and a tackle quit to enter social work. That's sports. I'm Tony White.
It's time for Big Ways Champion Sports.
Chicago Cubs fans become a little angry when someone makes a sweeping observation that Bob Gibson of the Cardinals is a top pitcher in the National League. They say, Bob Quincy, Big Ways Champion Sports.
You've been listening to Big Ways Champion Sports. Big Ways, first in sports in the Carolinas.
W-A-Y-N, Big Ways Music Power.
Big Ways, one of the first stations in the United States to take a group from the Midwest and make them superstars. We got a gold record for that one back in 1970. Springtime, Chicago, and Make Me Smile. Later that same year, around August or September, about 12 years ago right now, a kid from Chapel Hill finally made it big. And again, Big Ways was there first. James Taylor sings on Big Ways.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. That I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again. Thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a few things coming my way this time around now. Thought I'd see you now.
61 Big Ways, 526 with Lou Simon. Look who just rolled in here. Roy Rosen. Roy is a veteran of this station. Roy, what year do you actually, you got to kind of nuzzle up to this microphone. What year do you actually start working here at Big Ways?
I started working here in February of 1973.
So actually, this coming February will be your 10-year anniversary with Waze.
Right.
Now, you left once or twice for a month or two, but actually, you've really been here consistently.
With the exception of leaving probably just one time, which was in April of '74 when I went to Syracuse and worked up there. I came back in November of '74.
Yeah.
And have been with this station ever since.
Any quick memories of some funny things that we haven't mentioned yet? Some big contests? You must have the best Big Ways T-shirt collection of anybody. We've given away a lot of T-shirts, and you've got one of each, I think.
Pretty much. I think since I've been associated with this radio station, I probably have about 1,500 T-shirts.
From not just Ways T-shirts, but from record companies and all that.
All kinds, just station promotions, the record companies with the station logo on the back, and all kinds of things like that. I had the association of working with Jay Thomas when I came here, and of course, there's an awful lot of, memories going back to the early 70s here with Big Ways. Worked at another station in this town that was a hot competitor with Big Ways, as a matter of fact, in the early 70s. And with between the association of both stations, the ratings war that was going on in the early 70s with Big Ways and this other radio station, there was quite a bit to learn, quite a few memories. I don't know whether you've been down. I've only been listening to like the last hour of the show, and I don't know whether you mentioned the times in the early 70s, mid 70s when Jay was here. Some of the things that used to go on. John Lodge was working afternoon drive here. Mike Adams was working middays.
Yeah.
Grady Brock, who went to WCFL in Chicago as Dr. Brock.
Great disc jockey.
Was working nights here at Big Ways.
That's right.
And there were some wild times.
I want you're talking about. Oh, did you have something you wanted to get to? Go ahead.
No.
You're talking about disc jockeys. I want you to listen to this. Not everyone who worked here, they have a thing called an ego logo. It's a little jingle that sings your name. Unfortunately, there have been periods where those became a little outdated and we didn't use them. So when we got new disc jockeys, we, for some people, did not order them from a jingle company. In some cases, we did. In some cases, they took them with them to use at other stations or whatever. I was able to dig up just a handful, just a few. But folks who started listening to this station in the mid-'60s and listened up into the late 70s, we got no new jingles when I got here in 79, see? But none with our names on them. But just listen. You'll hear some names go by. Maybe this will bring back some memories. Then Tony's going to check the news. We come back with the last 25, 30 minutes, whatever, and the last song, and some goodbyes and some more comments from Jack Gale. Listen carefully to this.
Here's Jack Gale to ruin your breakfast. 61 Charlotte, WAYS. Going with Mike Green, WAYS. Now here's Melvin, Long Johnny, Michael, K. Charles, Larry Black's here.
Right here, hold your ears.
Good guy, Jack Clyde. Jimmy Kilgo on Big Ways Radio. Go, go! Mike Finn, Mark McCain, Scott Slade, Spanky.
Good evening. It's 5:30. I'm Tony White reporting Big Ways News. State for Big Ways, #1 for news in the Carolinas.
Go, go! 61 Charlotte, WAYS. Charge!
Green, white, Mustangs, Myers Park, Highland, a winning game. But the victory cry is just not the same without 61 Charlotte, WAYS. Yay! Myers Park.
Session together with a group called Alive and Kickin' back in the summer of 1970. That's Tighter, 20 minutes before 6 o'clock. Winding down, John Kilgo's Inside Sports follows the 6 o'clock news on Big Ways. And then at 8:30, pregame action, the Clemson Tigers open their season up against Georgia. How about them Bulldogs? It's going to be a great game as the previously undefeated Tigers go for broke. And then at midnight, it's Ray Bream, and I got to remember the names of the new staff here. It's Irv Kincaid. Tony, you're going to help me, I can tell. You're going to... Harvey Fistel. Ira Fistel. I'm sorry. My mind is on other things, Tony. Actually, Ira does a very interesting... They say he's a walking encyclopedia, that he knows virtually everything.
That's correct.
So it's going to be a good show. Murphy will be here each morning from 6 until 10, so we'll still have some music. People have been calling up and moaning and crying and making memories. I grew up with Big Ways, and what a wonderful time it was of my life, and all these songs and all these jingles, and everything brings back so many memories. For instance, this.
We hung out mostly at Town and Country Drive-In over on Wilkinson Boulevard and Harold's Barbecue over close to the Memorial Hospital.
Now, I bet when all the cars were lined up at those barbecues and drive-ins and Shoney's, I bet it was like one big loudspeaker playing Big Ways in the parking lot. I bet everybody's car radio was tuned in.
It really was. That's the truth. Yeah, just some real good memories. And I was in high school back in the mid-'60s, and it was just a real big part of my life. And, you just, you can think about it for just hours on end and really enjoy it. And we used to really have some good times.
Waistcoat guys at 61. We're here 7 days a week, sun through mun. We got the cash and we put it on the line. And if you like nice guys, you can hear Joe Pine. Melvin gives the groceries and the boss gives bread. Your ears will throw a party for your head. It's no wonder everybody says a radio dial is stuck on Big Ways.
Day by day, people getting ready for the
at 5:45, 5:45. Winding down 17 years of great radio for the Southeast. I'm Lou Simon. We've been playing a lot of oldies today, making great memories of the songs that we made popular here in Charlotte. I guess we ought to play at least one current song. This is number one this week. Therefore, our last number one song is a music station on Big Ways.
Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie gonna be a football star. Diane's debutante backseat of Jackie's car. Sucking on chili dog outside the taste of freeze. Diane sitting on Jackie's lap, got his hands between her knees. Jackie say, hey Diane, let's run off behind the shady trees. Dribble off those Bobby Brooks, let me do what I please. Say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Say, the thrill of living is gone. To walk on. Checks his back, flexes his thoughts for the moment, scratches his head and does his best James Dean. Well, then there Diane gotta run off to the city. Diane says, baby, you ain't missing nothing. Jack say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, say life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Let the Bible bell come and save my soul. Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Changes come around real soon, make us women and men. Jack and Diane, two American kids doing best they can.
Big Ways. From the album American Fool, a guy out of the Midwest, out in Bloomington, Indiana. John Cougar and Jack and Diane, our last number one song here at WAYS. Coming up, I'll say goodbye. And so will Jack Gale. We'll play our last record on WAYS. Peter, Paul, and Mary sing John Denver.
All my bags are packed.
I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. Taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could cry. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down. So many times I've played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I think of you. Every song I sing for you. When I come back, I'll wear your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Now the time has come to leave you. One more time, let me kiss you. Then close your eyes, I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to leave alone. About the time I won't have to say. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go.
Starting now, Sherwin-Williams Super Play Super Sale. Did you catch that?
Sure did. Sherwin-Williams' best interior and exterior paint at $6 off the regular price per gallon. And wall coverings.
Great patterns.
20 to 60% off the regular price per roll.
Level all blinds, 30% off the regular prices. Don't miss them.
And now to recap, super deals, a super store.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
It's where the action is now through September 25th.
Just super.
Thank you, Charles. You never forget Mother's Day.
Oh, George, what a beautiful Valentine heart.
Most of us are pretty good at remembering our loved ones on their special day. But kindness is always appreciated. So if you're visiting family or friends this weekend, remember to bring along a Whitman sampler or a box of sampler favorites. They'll love it. Because Whitman's has been remembering loved ones ever since 1842.
Big Ways, Lou Simon, 5:54, 6 before 6 o'clock now. I will be brief in my farewells on behalf of the radio station. I've worked here for 3 years now, and I have to say that it has been 3 very wonderful, happy, joyful years. Charlotte is truly a wonderful, wonderful city, a great place to live and work. And the Kaplans who own Big Ways are very benevolent and good people with great radio minds, and they're just nice human beings beyond that. The guy that hired me, Scott Slade, is a great friend, as is Larry Sprinkle, who's come to be one of my favorite people in the whole world. And I can just say that living and working here has been a pleasure. I grew up with AM radio stations that were just like Big Ways. All the tapes and things you were hearing today, for the most part, were mine because as a youngster, I started collecting tapes of Big Ways. To work here and have its call letters on my resume, a legendary station like this one, is an honor and a privilege, and I respect their transition, as I hope you will. The city has grown up. The listeners are not teenagers anymore. Now, instead of singing, we'll be talking. With intelligent conversations and great sports coverage, Big Ways will remain a leading radio station in the United States. Thank you. God bless you. From one of America's 2 great radio stations, 61 Big Ways. Good night and drive carefully.
They, the people in Charlotte, bought what we did. They bought it mentally. They bought it physically. They patronized our sponsors of all the stations, and I guess I've been with 40 radio stations in my career. I enjoyed that station because the people bought what we were trying to do. I don't mean with their money, but they bought it with their hearts. They made us their people, their radio station, and it was their radio station. We programmed for the people, from the all-request line, full-page ads, the all-request line, to if there was a dispute over a contest of $1,000, we would give $2,000 away. It was whatever the people wanted, that's what we did. Most radio stations say, this is what we're doing, and this is what you're going to get. We're going to cram this type of music down your throat. But these people, we asked them what we wanted, what they wanted, and that's what we gave them. They wanted fun, and they wanted just a good time, and like I say, a hi-ho, come to the fair, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to make it a community radio station because they were just really the greatest audience that I have ever had the pleasure of performing for, and I would just like to say from my bottom of my heart, I thank them for 6 marvelous years, and I thank you, Lou, for this call. I'd just like to sign this off the way I used to sign off everything. First of all, just God bless everybody in Charlotte. Good luck to you, and good luck to the whole gang at Big Ways and their new endeavor. And as we used to leave everybody with every morning, this is Jack Gale saying, whether you have your own teeth or not, keep smiling.
Now we're all the way 24 hours every day.
61 Charlotte, W-A-Y-S. 61 Charlotte, W-A-Y-S. A new sound for Charlottetown. From the good guys. First in the land of Big Ways. Going all the way. Big Ways Radio. 61 Charlotte, W-A-Y-S. 60 wonderful W-A-Y-S. Go, go. Hey, Big Ways. The Jolly Giant. Oh, East Mecklenburg High. Wow. Big stuff. Big Ways 61. Oh, yeah. Big stuff. W-A-Y-S. Big Ways
61 Big Ways. The best music. 61 Big Ways.
Oh, the rhythm of the city. The rhythm of the city is W-A-Y-S.
Listen to the sound of people talking. W-A-Y-S Talk Radio. Big Ways.
Our life together is so precious. Together we have grown. We have grown. Although our love is still special. Let's take a chance and fly away somewhere
the time, no one's to blame. My no time flies so quickly. But when I see you, darling, it's like we both are falling in love again. It'll be just like starting over. Starting over. Every day, making love. Why can't we be making love nice and easy? It's time to spread our wings and fly. Don't let another day go by, my love. It'll be just like starting over. Starting over. Why don't we take off alone? Take a trip somewhere far, far away. We'll be together all alone again, like we used to in the early days. Between the time, no one's to blame. My no time flies so quickly.
Just kept the ball rolling, and it was just some of the happiest days of my life. And I was just glad to be a part of that. Gee, it started me. It got me where I am today. I'll never forget it.
Sam was running around talking about how great of a radio station we were going to build. And you know what? He was absolutely right. Built the greatest radio station in the history of rock and roll.
I was in high school back in the mid-'60s, and it was just a real big part of my life. And, you know, you just you can think about it for just hours on end and really enjoy it.
This is Jack Gale saying, whether you have your own teeth or not, keep smiling.
WAYS Talk Radio, Big Ways.
Good evening. It's 6:03 in Charlotte. I'm Tony White reporting Big Ways News.